All right, and welcome everybody to a third episode of the You Are College Bound Show. And as always, I am your host, Serenity. Today I'm joined by our co-host, Zoea. Woo! Applause for you too. Awesome. So as usual, we have a very fun-filled episode for you guys. Hopefully you take something from it. And starting off right with the moment of serenity, let's find out a little bit more about how to be more mindful and how to take care of our mental health. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to A Moment of Serenity with your host, Serenity. Today, we'll be talking about yet another important topic in mental health, and that is organization. I will highlight the importance of staying organized, some challenges to maintaining your organization, and lastly, sharing with you all some tips and tricks on how to become more organized in your daily life. By now, you should know that our mental health is almost inseparable with our habits. So the things that we think up here is kind of mimicked outside with what we do in our regular life. For example, for me, I know that when I am super unorganized and things are all over my room, that is because I'm super stressed out. When I'm unorganized and everything is messy, it stresses me out even more. So you can see how this can be a really toxic cycle, but that's okay. We're going to discuss some different ways that you can tackle this. Now again, the reason why being organized is so important to our day-to-day lives is because it really keeps us on track of everything that we need to do. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the video. However, we aren't perfect people, of course, because we're human. And here are some challenges that are posed whenever we're trying to become more organized or even maintain that organization that we already started. The first one that I want to list, which is a big one for me, is that sometimes it feels too time-consuming. After a long day of school or work, you come back and you just kind of want to get to sleep. I definitely know that that's the case for me. However, what ends up happening is I am really messy again. I'm more stressed out and I'm spending even more time to do things that could have been done in the first place. The second challenge that I want to highlight is you don't know where to start. It can be really overwhelming if you start with everything at once. My very favorite saying is you can eat an elephant if you take it piece by piece. So don't look at it as you have to do a million things in one day, but instead start small and build your way up. That's always going to be a lot more sustainable in the long run. When we talk about maintaining your organization, it takes about 60 days to form a habit. So really just work little by little. First, you can start off with organizing your makeup. Then you can start off with organizing your skincare stuff. Or even simpler, you can start off with organizing your day, plan ahead, all those things. And we're going to talk about that in the next clip. Now that we have discussed a few challenges to staying organized, let's talk about the many benefits that there are. Be it in school, work, or your personal life, organization is key to so many things, including reducing stress, saving time, making more time for things that you actually like, and also increasing productivity. I can think of one thing that we all can probably relate to. I will be late to my own wedding. I'd probably be late to my own funeral if I could, because I am just that girl. I know, and I'm working on it. And this is why it's a journey together. So this is the road back to our dreams, right? So my dream is to be on time to everything. One thing that will really help and something that I am starting to incorporate into my life is the night before getting up for an event or getting up for work, I lay everything out. I make sure that I have like my earrings and my jewelry that I'm going to wear the next day on my vanity. I make sure to have my jeans and my shirt and even my little fanny pack out the night before so that in the morning when I wake up super early, I'm not scrambling. Again, this reduces my stress. This saves me so much time in the morning so that I can do things like maybe do my makeup or drink some teas. Again, the example I gave is only one example of the many ways that you can incorporate these things into your life. Another really simple one and surefire thing that will help you become organized is getting a little notebook to plan your days. Calendars, apps, they're all out there. At the end of the day, stress is no good for you. It leads to heart attacks, headaches, stomach aches, all types of things. So let's be healthy in our mind and also our body. Now that I have discussed the importance of organization, the challenges and benefits to being organized, and some tips and tricks on how to incorporate it into your daily life, I hope that you will take this with you in your little toolbox and help build the road back to your dream. And I want to know, What have you been doing to be more mindful and to take care of your mental health? I hope that you guys have enjoyed this segment, and there's more where that came from next week. Bye. All right, and that was another segment of A Moment of Serenity. Organization is something that I personally struggle with, and I know that especially in high school it can be super hectic, and a lot of y'all don't have planners, as I've noticed, and it's very interesting. But this is exactly why you're here, and that's the reason I created the segment, so we can learn from each other. Now, the next thing that I want to do is introduce, or have Zoea introduce her movie recommendation segment.
Mhm. So yeah, thank you, Serenity. But we are talking about the movie The Great Debaters. Basically, I'll go into it in the video, but as you listen, I just want to maybe like just see in the chat like anyone voice like their concerns or any time where you felt like you had to like stand up for yourself and maybe like what you did to prepare, right? Because they are in fact like in a debate team. So if you've been in one, if you felt like, the jitters before talking, what are things that you've done to like prepare yourself to not just speak in public, but also just stand up for yourself? Or anything that you'd recommend to anybody else who is in that situation? Just curious. But yeah.
Thank you. Alrighty.
What's up, everybody? Get your books out because this is the tea on episode 3. All right, everybody, listen up and listen close because today we'll be talking about the importance of education and how fighting racism and ensuring your education are inextricably linked. In the movie, The Great Debaters. The Great Debaters' main point stresses on the importance of education, how important it is for you to know your subject, know what you're talking about, and be able to combat your opponent, not with violence, but with the strength of your words, right? Your pen is mightier than the sword. Very cliche, but it rings true in this movie. A trigger warning, there are a lot, because this is the 30s, the 40s, images of violence. There is a lynching in the film, and they are very graphic about it, so I would keep that in mind. But this movie is free on Tubi, which is dope, in my opinion. So you could watch it whenever you want. Very quickly connecting this to comp and lit classes, the most obvious connection is your debate class, right? Today, we will be quoting Aristotle when he says, law is reason free from passion. And we will be also taking from L. Wood's class of 2004 in Harvard Law, the law is actually not at all free from passion. It is passion that must be the driving force behind anything that you do, and it is with passion and strengthen your convictions that you step forward into the lives that you want for yourselves, right? And that brings me into what I'm trying to talk about, right? Ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos is when you're trying to connect to somebody because you have a sense of authority, you know what you're talking about, and you have credentials. Logos means my logic makes sense. Pathos means we are here emotionally. And The Great Debaters shows the process of creating a debate, expanding upon it, and thinking on the fly, using all three of these devices to create a sound and important logic. But more important than that, it shows how these three things on top of education, because none of these are possible without education. And I don't necessarily mean books education. I mean being able to put your experiences to words. And with all that being said, this is a relatively short video because I do think that this movie not only pertains to your English classes, but is also just a genuinely good movie to see. It feels so great to see these characters step out of their comfort zones, and even though they lose, they still win because you grew, you know what I'm saying? And that also touches on the fact that sometimes you do need to say yes to things, even if you might fail, just because you will inevitably get something out of the experience, right? Because you never lose when it comes to experience. Like Jerry Ann said, please do not fear being the smartest person in the room, right? Because on top of the education that you deserve, it's to give yourself the chance to step up and do well for yourself. By reading and by expanding your horizons, you only strengthen your own narrative, because it is with passion and strength of conviction that you will take the next steps into your life, wherever that is. Y'all all get up for some reason. And this movie touches on the fact that there are so many traumatic things that can happen to an individual, more so if they're a person of color. But you make the decision every day to rise above those things. And it's okay for those things to get you down. But again, you deserve to thrive. Therefore, you deserve to take every and any opportunity that is going to get you to where you know that you need to be. Rest easy. Bye.
Okay, we got Zoya coming in with the powerful, moving speech. Such a great segment. Thank you again, as always. Now we're gonna move into some bodily functions and all that stuff because we gotta know anatomy and physiology is right up your, well, not right up my alley. I hate it, but it's definitely useful once you get into college. So let's cue that up with our wonderful Shantavia Bailey and Tahara Ghazali and a little special guest. So let's see what they have in store.
Welcome to another segment of T-Bone. In this segment, we're going to be talking about some interesting facts about the human body.
The stomach has the ability to stretch and hold up to 4 pounds of food at a time.
The small intestine is like 22 feet long, guys. Long.
Did you know that the skin is your largest organ?
The average person produces 2 pints of saliva every day. That is 2 cans of soda of saliva.
Did you know that you can lose water by just breathing?
We don't know why we yawn?
The longest attack of constant hiccups lasted 68 years.
Tell me where I get this feeling, but you ain't wanna turn me on. Tell me where I get this feeling, but you ain't wanna make me yours.
All right, thank you again for those quick fun facts. The saliva one really grossed me out. I never want to think of saliva in cans of soda. Good thing I don't drink much soda, so I guess that saves me from that. But again, thank you for those fun facts. The one that I did always know is that the skin is the largest organ of our body, so I guess I should get an A in anatomy and physiology. But anywho, without further ado, I have a little special something for a couple folks because I realized a little birdie told me that we have some birthdays. So we have a couple birthdays that have already passed. So Bernaris, happy birthday. Yours was on July 3rd. Rihanna, her birthday was on July 13th. Aisha celebrated her birthday on the 17th. Valeria was our most recent with July 18th. And last we have Mr. Jabriel on the 29th. So if you see them, be sure to give them a big happy birthday, whether it's early or late. But I don't want to forget about our staff. Zoya celebrated a birthday as well on the 13th. And Tashai will be celebrating her birthday on Friday. So give it up for them.
Happy birthday!
Okay, so the next thing that I really want to talk about is the college bound pie. The summer is coming to an end. Sadly, why is time going so fast? I don't know. I think time is the most bizarre social construct, but that's neither here nor there. Anywho, let's just make sure that we are still keeping up the momentum. Let's end strong. Let's get those college bound points. Let's do what we need to do because you all are so very capable and you've been doing a great job so far. So if you are here, you already know that you are receiving points. Popping into your virtual office hour again, attending your weekly squad meeting, completing your assignments for math, attending your club meeting. Again, art club people, I don't know why y'all would want to miss that. We got some cool stuff going on. Completing your College 101 assignment, submit your response for Comp and Lit, and attending your foreign language class. I know it is quite hard to get up and want to motivate yourself during the summer when you don't have to and do school-like things, school-adjacent things, because we do a lot of fun things on the side as well. But kudos to all of you. You've been doing great these past 3 or 4 weeks. And I just wanted to remind you that you all are awesome and just to keep up the good work. So let's continue on to talking about what we're going to do on Friday, which I know is a favorite day of many because we're going on a college trip. And guess to where? You may or may not have guessed it. Syracuse University. Woo! Go. What do they call it? Big Orange? All that good stuff. Anywho, so here is some fun facts courtesy of Mr. Cody. Alrighty, so 200 plus different majors, the most popular being communication and journalism. 22,000 students, not 2,200, 22,000 students. So this is a big school. You'll see when you get there on Friday. 15,000 of those being undergraduates and 7,000 of those being graduate students. The average class size is around 30 students. So if you're someone who likes smaller classrooms, this is not so much your place, but if you're a person who thrives in a big classroom, that's totally fine. 300 plus clubs are offered. So I always recommend get out there. Once you get to college, you don't know what you like until you try. So go ahead, and when you get there, you can ask questions about the different clubs that they have to offer. It's something that may pique your interest. And like I said, the world is your oyster when you're in college. So keep in mind the different things that appeal to you. We also know that they are a Division I school. For my sports folks out there, I don't really watch basketball. I think it goes on forever. But for those of you who like it, cool beans. Lastly, the mascot is Otto the Orange. That's an interesting mascot, but I guess it's better than a yellow jacket. Sorry, no hate, no shade. All right. So that is all we have for today's show. I hope you enjoyed the segments, and I hope that you all have taken something from each of those segments as well, and learned that you still have to keep up with these points. And again, I commend all of you for being here. And Luis, to answer your question in the chat, how do we attend a squad meeting, and what if you're not taking Comp and Lit? So that's totally fine with the Comp and Lit, but basically the idea is really just participating in everything that you do. And the squad meeting is just like being at the table, participating, and being attentive. Hi, Prosper. Yep, debate is a Comp and Lit class. And so not to worry, if you're already doing everything you need to do, you are all set. Without further ado, I am going to say peace out to everybody, and I'm going to have my wonderful co-host say peace out as well, and we will see you on Friday.